Okay, so welcome to this comparison video between the HPI Trophy 3.5 and the Hyper 7. So this is a very common question that I get asked, having owned both 1/8 scale buggies, and obviously they're both priced around the same. So many people like to know which one should they get, because essentially they both have the same specs, and these days they both come with 2.4G radio systems, and just a few things are different that would win me over personally if purchasing one for the first time. So obviously my Hyper 7 does have 28 engine, so you could say that this is a bit unfair comparing it to a 21 engine in the Trophy 3.5. However, I've had previously, before I even started on YouTube, I have had the Hyper 7 with the 21 engine, and I honestly cannot see any speed increase with the 28, but the 28 one does have slightly faster acceleration and quicker, bit more torque with the engine there. But apart from that, I can't see or tell you about any top speed increase with the 28 engine. So let us start with, basically they are both 1/8 scale buggies. Both of them these days come with the 2.4G radio systems. And having owned both, I can say that the Hyper 7 is faster, but that is of course because it has got a bigger motor. And but then again, as I said, the one with the 21 engine does not have any speed increase either, so I still say that the Hyper 7 is faster than the Trophy. And also I would say that the Trophy is a bit heavier than the Hyper 7. I weighed them both, and actually the HPI Trophy does weigh a fair bit more than the Hyper 7, which could contribute to the reasons why the Trophy is slower than the 28 Hyper 7. One thing that would win me over is that the HPI Trophy is a fully waterproof 1/8 scale buggy. It has completely waterproof battery box, it has waterproof servos, it has a gearbox that is all sealed in properly to get rid of the water, and also it has the waterproof brake pads made of a material that won't expand if it gets wet, probably fiberglass. So it's not fiber brake pads which will expand, unfortunately, if they get wet. So the Hyper 7 isn't waterproof. It has an open plan battery box, the servos aren't waterproof, the gearboxes aren't really designed for the water, and of course the brake pads potentially might expand if they get exposed to the water, which would cause issues with the brake pads. The Trophy, upon having it for a few months, does have some issues with the steering servo, and it has a few problems with other quality of the parts. For example, the steering arms snapped fairly easily, so I think those parts need to be improved. And as I said, the steering servo it just isn't up to the job. As people say, I think it's made of cheese, so that one needed replacing very quickly. The Hyper 7 doesn't have any of those issues. I've bashed both of these buggies exactly the same, you can check the videos, and I haven't had any extra issues. I would say that the Hyper 7 is much quicker off the line than the Trophy. As I said, probably because of the 28 engine specs, but you know, I can honestly say that both of these buggies are awesome for their price range, and that is just it, because they are basically the same specs. One thing I would like to mention about the Hyper 728 is that it is not legal for the BRCA races. So obviously if you are looking to race, then unfortunately it wouldn't be legal to enter a race or championship, whatever, with your Hyper 728, because unfortunately that isn't allowed. So if you wanted to race, you'd have to go with the Trophy 3.5, would be a more feasible option. So overall, let's get to a conclusion. Thing is, as I said, they're both the same cars, right? But the fact that the Trophy is waterproof, personally, that would win me over, because it means you don't have to worry about the puddles and things getting damaged, and you can bash it in the rain, etc, etc. So yeah, personally I would go the Trophy. But if you're not worried about the rain and you're not planning to drive it in the rain, then I would go with the Hyper 728 because it is faster and it's got more of a thrill factor to it. But for me personally, having a waterproof buggy, that's going to win me over.